How is everybody this Tuesday? I am delighted for you to join me for this month's Craft Along featuring the Pet Love Bundle. If you haven't joined me before, I'm Deborah Harrison with Simply Sweet and Ink Designs. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in San Antonio, Texas. And each month, I love sharing with you a fun craft along project that some of you had ordered the pre-cut kit so you can craft along with me. Some of you purchased the PDF tutorial in advance to prep your own supplies. So I'm delighted that you're going to be crafting with me today to make 4 super cute pet related projects. I'm going to go ahead, let me get my chat going. And as you hop on, say hello. Let me know who is joining me for today's craft along. Now, I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up. It is 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock Central Time for me. I need to be somewhere at 4 o'clock today. So if I'm kind of rushing through today, I just want to explain that's what's happening, that I do have somewhere to be. And so I really need to try to stay within the hour. So we have 4 projects to make. I'm going to really quickly go through some updates, things that are happening now. The Black Friday sale for Stampin' Up! Launched this morning. I will tell you, I'm going to give you the highlights, what I think is like the go-to items. There are items, select items up to 40% off. Basically, I think to me, the big items on here are the Stampin' trimmer. It's 40% off. And I love our trimmer. Oh my gosh, I have tried so many trimmers over the years, and that is my favorite all-around trimmer. If you need trimmer blades, this is a great time to get those. Also 40%, and Stampin' Blends, 40% off. Adhesives are some of the adhesives are 25% off, and then there's a few of the cardstock that's 15% off. So hopefully I said that correctly. I went through all my blends this morning, and I filled in ones, got rid of ones that I didn't realize were old and messed up, and I ordered some new ones, and then I found some I didn't realize I didn't have. So shop this quickly, and I mean quickly because there's things that have already sold out. So you do not want to wait on this Black Friday sale, especially on those really discounted items. When you order from me, if you select me, Deborah Harrison is your demonstrator, when you spend $50, I will send to you a coupon code to get a free tutorial of your choice up to $20 in my PDF store. That covers almost all of my tutorials, so hopefully you'll find something fun in there. And in fact, I actually just added this morning. If you have the advent calendar or looking to order the advent calendar, this is I just did 12 projects using 10 of the 12 items in that 12 days of crafting advent calendar. And this is a $15 PDF, but you can get it free with a $50 order from now until December 1st. If you bump it up to $75, I'm also going to include for you a 6x6 pack of 24 sheets of designer series paper, little sampler variety pack. And then if you bump it up to $100 in addition to the tutorial and the designer series paper sampler, I'm also going to send you just a surprise. This is a sample. It will be a surprise embellishment or a spool of ribbon. All right. So got that really quick. Let's move on. The next thing is my adhesive packs. I'm doing some holiday adhesive packs. You're going to get a free travel chamois with a container. It's the travel chamois. It's a quarter sheet of it. It's great to have in your little to-go crafting bag. These holiday adhesive kits, I am taking orders from now until November 30th. They're $42 each plus postage. What do I mean by that? If you order one of the kits, of the adhesive kits, it's $7 to ship it to you. It's the holiday rates. It is what it is, unfortunately. If you order 2, 3, or 4, your total postage will be $10. It's kind of like you hit that threshold, and 2, 3, or 4 adhesive kits be $10 total for your postage. That does include, both of those postage includes tracking, and it's regular ground advantage for the shipping service. If you want 5 or more kits, then it bumps up to another level, and I'll have to give you a quote on that. But really cute. It includes mini glue dots, multi-purpose liquid glue, seal adhesive, and Stampin' Dimensionals. You're going to get this cute bag. You're also going to have a pouch with the handle that you can carry your items in, and of course that free travel chamois. All right, lastly, this is just for my local San Antonio area friends. I am hosting in my home a cookies and kits pajama party. You don't have to wear pajamas if you don't want to, but I can now understand why this Road to Christmas card kits keep selling out. They are so adorable and so really, really easy to put together. I've ordered several of these, but I will also too have other kits available where you can come. It's going to be on Saturday, December 6th from 6 to 9 p.m. The cost is $15. You can make 4 kit cards of your choice. It can be these, it can be other ones. I ask that you bring a snack to share. And if you want to participate in our cookie exchange, then all that information is in the sign up, which you can find in this video description, and sign up by November 30th. All right, let's see. What else do I have? Okay, so we are making today 4 super cute projects with the Pet Love Bundle. Let me show you the bundle. I think this is kind of a sleeper bundle in the online store. It is just so cute. It does feature this Pet Love Bundle, really cute pet themed items, and there are the dies. And then it also too, it uses, it's called Textured Stripes Mix and Match Cards and Envelopes. You get a total of 10 cards, 5 blue, 5 red, and also 10 envelopes in the corresponding colors. So it's really great. And so what I did is I just use these as our bases, but I also love using the card bases to be able to kind of use it as designer series paper. It's a little hard to pick up, but there are some little darker stripes inside just to use it as a background for my treat box today. Now, I do have a couple extra of these kits. So if you did not order one and you wanted to, I do have 2 available, $46 each, that is shipped to you. And one of the cute little items that I found was this really cute little keychain, little dog bone keychain. That's a little gift inside the packet for you. So if you would like one of those extra kits, message me or send me an email. Please don't comment here because I probably won't see it in time. And I would like to make sure that it's time stamped so that it is available first come, first serve. All right, my friends who ordered the kit or who ordered the project kit, I did send to you the prepping guidelines with some items that I needed you to prep ahead of time. Basically, your stamping and your die cutting from your bundle. A lot of the other pieces were already done for you. So hopefully you got a chance to do that. If not, you can just hang out and then you can come back and watch the replay. Now, if you want just the tutorial for today's projects with the supplies, the images, and the instructions, I do have it available in my PDF store for $12. You can go purchase that there. And all the links are in the video description here. All right, let's start off with the first project. This is going to be, that's not the right one. Let's do this one. It's called the Possum Pet Sitter or Pet Sitter card. And I did use the card base. And we're using the red card base. So make sure you pull out from your pack the red card base. And so we're just going to use that first. Then we're going to take out, now these were prepped in your kit if you order the kit. You're going to take your piece of glimmer paper. This is the Peaceful Garden Designer Series paper. This piece measures 1 3/4 by 6, so it's going to get glued down here in a moment. Then this is die cut from the Textured Notes dies, and it measures 3 1/4 by roughly 4 3/4, die cut in crumb cake cardstock. And we're going to do a little bit of stamping before I glue this down. So I'm going to take those cute little paw prints from the stamp set and let's stamp it in crumb cake ink. And so I am just going to go along the edge here and just create a little border. And then we're going to glue each of these down. All right, I did get a new adhesive. Let me open it up real quick. That one is not cooperating with me today. Let's try this one. All right, so I'm going to glue this flat. And I'm just going to kind of leave a little bit of a border here on the edge. And then I'm going to take my crumb cake label here. And let's just glue that right on top. And I'm just going to kind of center it on my card here. Okay, so next I die cut, and in your kit you do have this. It is the large banner from the Stylish Shapes dies. It is die cut in basic white cardstock. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to stamp in Misty Moonlight ink. Going to stamp the sentiment. You're a possum pet sitter. But what I'm going to do is, if you notice, I have the right end of my banner cut off, so I'm going to stamp on the left. And then I'm going to take my paper trimmer and I am going to cut it. And I want to say I did it to 2 3/4. Let's see, that is right there in the light. How about that? Let's try that. So I'm just going to trim off the left banner point right there to 2 3/4, and I'm going to snip off the other side of that banner. Now I'm going to glue this at the top. And you can have it go all the way to the edge, or I'm just going to bring it in just a little bit so that I can still see some of my pretty scroll work that's right there on the border of my crumb cake layer. All right, so this is one of the pieces I asked for you to stamp and die cut ahead of time, was your bandana. I am going to just show you real quick how to stamp it. So we're going to take the bandana stamp, and then we're going to take Misty Moonlight ink. I'm going to stamp that. And then what you would do is you would take the large bandana here from your die set, and you're just going to line it up, and you're going to run it through your die cutting machine and die cut that out. So I have already done one. So I have this one ready to go. Then you wanted to die cut. Now this is in Misty Moonlight cardstock, stamped in Misty Moonlight ink. Then I die cut out the real red, the heart charm in the real red cardstock. Then we're going to have one of the bones here, and that is going to be in basic white cardstock. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to put all of these, we're going to pop them up with dimensionals. And so I am just going to put this right here. I'm going to pop up the heart with the dimensional. And then I'm going to use some mini dimensionals for the bone. And I don't need it on both ends. I just need it on one. And I'm going to add just a dab of glue on the other end because I am going to have it resting on the heart. And then what I'm going to do, now in your pack, for those who got the kit, you did get this package of earthy matte dots. So I'm just going to bling up. I'm going to use the early espresso dots, I think, for this card. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, you also too in your kit, you got a spool of this real red and white baker's twine. So I am going to tie a bow. And then let's go ahead, we're going to add it on with a mini glue dot. And what I like to do is I like to take my finger and just roll that glue dot. That way it's just a little line, because the baker's twine's pretty thin. And then we're just gonna plop that right there at the top of the heart charm. There's a little tag hole right there. So let's go ahead and put that there. And that finishes up project number 1, which is our pet possum pet sitter card. All right. I see Shirley's on, and Dawn, Sandy, and Jana. Thanks for joining me, friends. All right, I'm just gonna clean up real quick. Let's get up, set up for the next project. And that is going to be our love card right here. Now this was a fun one. This uses the party alphabet dies. Just really cute. Good for a lot of different uses, for banners or for like really big bold letters. All right, so I will bring back this card at the end. Okay, for this one, we are going to take the blue card base from the Textured Stripes Mix and Match cards, and we're going to have it going in landscape orientation. Then you're going to take out of your paper pack. You're going to have a 1 by 6 1/4 glimmer paper, again from the Peaceful Garden glimmer paper. That we're just going to hold that right there. Then you also have a piece of crumb cake cardstock that measures 3 1/4 by 6 1/4. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to glue on the glimmer paper behind my crumb cake cardstock, just so I can create a border. I love just adding this little bit of sparkle to each of these projects. Okay, glimmer paper does take a little bit. I may want a little bit more than that. You may want to try some tear and tape. That would probably work well too. All right, you know what? While this is setting up, I'm going to go ahead and let's work on our letters. Okay, so for that, like I said, I used the party alphabet dies and die cut out the letters L, O, V, and E. You could do woof, you could do meow, whatever you want to use for your card if you have those dies. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab these paw prints again. We're going to use them one more time, and we're going to stamp in crumb cake ink. Now, if you want, you have real red, you could do that as well. Basically, I just want to stamp some cute little paw prints here on each of the letters. Oops, don't like that. Oh, well, I kind of overlapped my paw prints. I think I'm going to try to cover that if I can. Okay, one last one right there. All right, so I think my glimmer paper hopefully has set up. So I'm going to go ahead, glue that. Let's glue that down right here on our card base. And then I'm just going to position the love letters. I want to make sure they all fit. Now, if you notice, I do have the O and the V up a little bit higher, and that is so that one, everything can fit for one thing, because these letters do get a little tight on the card. But also too, I want to allow this space right here for my ball and my dog bone. So now that I have them about where I think I want them, I'm going to go ahead and glue these on. Okay, all right, so for the ball, it actually is 2 pieces. And so for that, it is going to be, there is in the die set, I'm going to show you where I got this from. There is this larger circle, and so I die cut that out in basic beige cardstock. And then there is the accent piece right here for the ball, and I die cut that out in Misty Moonlight cardstock. So I'm just going to glue that right on top of each other. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pop this the ball up with dimensional. And so I'm going to kind of fill in this spot right here near the O, and then I'm going to take the dog bone, die cut also out from the die set, and I am going to pop this up just one end with a dimensional, and then the other end I'm going to do like I did on the first card, and I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive because that's the part that's going to be on the ball. And I'm going to try to minimize where I kind of made that boo-boo right there and see if I can't cover up. So mine might look just a little bit different than the other card, but that's okay. Okay, so then I asked you to die cut out with your glimmer paper 5 stars. And there are some stars in the paper pack or in the die set. So I'm just going to go right here and I'm going to just start plopping down these stars in different spots. Oh, you know what I could do? Oh, what am I thinking? You know what? I'm going to switch this. I'm going to move my dog bone back over here. And I bet I'm going to put a star right there. That would be a perfect place for a star. And then let's put one here. And then one up here. Okay. All right. Just wherever you want to put them, you can do that. Oh, perfect. Covered a lot of that boo-boo there. Okay, now you can leave it like this if you want, or if you want, you can take your bling. I will tell you, you are going to have to push down a little bit. You can take the blue dots from the earthy matte dots, and then you can put them right on top of the stars, just to give a little more dimension. However, I would suggest you push pretty hard so that it sticks inside, because it is on glimmer paper, so it's a little trickier to hold on the adhesive. Okay, guys, one more thing. That is another, take your baker's twine. Let's make another bow. What I love about baker's twine is it's nice and thin, so it makes it easy to mail. All right, let's go on ahead. Let's take our mini glue dot. I'm gonna roll it, create a little tube. And let's put that right here where the ball and the bone come together. There we go, guys. There is project number 2. Okay, so while I set up for the next project, I'm curious, how many of you have pets? I would imagine if you're hopping on here, you probably have pets. Do you have dogs? Do you have cats? Do you have both? I would love for you to share with me in the comments. We've had both. We've had dogs and cats. We currently have 2 cats. We have 2 cats. I had to think about it a minute. One of them is my grandbaby. Her name is Sylvie, and she belongs to my older son and his fiance, Meredith. And then the other one belongs to my son, and her name is AJ. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to make this third project, which is I With You card. And again, we're just using those really cool textured stripes cards for our card bases here. Makes it easy peasy to create these cards. All right, I will bring this card back later. 4 cats and 3 dogs. Wow, you got a house full, Jana. But a fun one, I'm sure. Okay, so for this one, we're going to take the red card base. And so this one, we are going to take, and we're going to do a little bit of die cutting. I'm going to show you a little trick. So we have a background base. This is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4 in basic beige. Then there is another piece, and if you have the project kit, you have both of these pieces cut for you. This is going to be, it's really 3 1/2 the short way, and then 3 3/4 the long way, so that it matches up. Now, if you notice, the collar has a little bit of a V to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the die cutting machine, and we're going to take this collar die, and we're going to create our own V. You can either manually cut it if you want, but let's use the die cutting machine to help us out. So if you have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you're going to want to grab your base plate 1, the shim 2, then you're going to take a clear plate 3. You're going to take your cardstock. This is crumb cake cardstock. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up right there and create a V. It doesn't really matter if it's up or down because there's plenty of play there, so it doesn't have to be perfectly lined up, but you just basically want to make a V. So I'm going to hold this down with some low tack washi tape. All right, so there we go. We have this ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I am going to stamp here before I glue it down. I'm going to stamp the I With You sentiment from the stamp set. I'm going to stamp it in Misty Moonlight ink. All right, let's see. I see dogs. Let's see, 2 dogs, 1 cat. Okay, awesome. Great. Tell you, pets just become like part of your family, don't they? All right, so let's stamp this in the lower right corner. And this is on the crumb cake piece that we just die cut and made that little V with the collar die. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this at the very bottom of our basic beige piece. And then we're going to just glue this. Now I am going to glue this towards the bottom. So I'm going to have like an equidistance border around the edge here. Shirley says she had one dog. Yeah, I have to say, right before we moved from the old house, we kind of had a little bit of a rough time with our pets. They were just getting older and started having a lot of health problems. So it's kind of a little bit sad there for a while. All right, so we've got this, and I know it looks a little weird up there, but that's so that I can leave room for my bandana and I have a nice contrast. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock. We're going to take the collar die. Now in the stamp set, you do have two options. You have a striped stamp and you have a polka dot collar that you can use. So you can choose whichever one you like. I'm just gonna continue with the striped one. And I'm gonna stamp in Misty Moonlight cardstock. Cardstock, did I say cardstock? I meant ink. Misty Moonlight ink. All right, so then you're gonna take from the die set, you're just gonna take that same collar die that we just used, and you're just gonna die cut out that collar, whichever one you chose to use. All right, so I've already die cut out my collar, and look, matches perfectly. So I'm gonna glue this right on top of that V that we created on that crumb cake piece. And then I asked you, for those who ordered the kit, I asked you to prep some things ahead of time. So let me show you what I asked you to prep. One of them was the base of the bandana. That's your background piece in basic beige. Then you're going to have the polka dot part of the bandana in Misty Moonlight. Then there is the little scarf tie, also in Misty Moonlight. Then the dog charm. Now this dog charm is actually two pieces here. Are two things here. You're going to take the circle charm, and then you're going to take, to make the little paw print, you're going to take your die, one of your paw print dies, and just die cut it out of your circle there, just to give it a little bit of an accent. Now for the background of the paw print, I wanted to have that background right there, so I used basic beige cardstock and this small little circle die, and that is what's going to go behind the paw print. So to cover the back, to give it that basic beige background. And then you're going to take and you're going to die cut out. You want 3 of the dog bones. And then lastly, we're going to have our collar buckle in the silver glimmer paper. All right, so let's put all of this together. And to do that, let's go ahead and add some glue to our polka dot bandana. Just going to line that up right there on your background piece for your bandana. Then we're going to glue the scarf tie. Also, line it up just right over. And then what I'm going to do is let's pop that up with dimensionals right here. And just kind of, I'm going to have it go over just a little bit, have it go over the top edge here, the top of the card. And then let's put the buckle on. Now for the buckle, I am using some mini dimensionals. Now, if you don't have mini dimensionals, you can always like cut down your dimensionals, your larger ones. Another thing that I like to do, a little tip, is if I need just little pieces, I'll take my snips and I'll just cut along the edge and I get tiny little pieces that way. You can do that as well. Okay, so I'm going to put the buckle on. I am popping up the buckle right here. I'm going to put it right here in the center of the collar. Then I'm going to add around the edge of my paw print. I'm going to carefully add just a little bit of glue so that I can put that circle on. And then right there. And then I'm going to pop it up also with a couple of dimensionals. And I am going to slide it right under this buckle right there, like it's being held by the clasp. And then what we're going to do is let's just randomly, let's put on our dog bones. All right, last one. And then let's bling it up again. Let's grab our earthy matte dots. And I'm going to use the red ones out of this. And just kind of add some bling right here and on the basic beige piece. And then again, grab your baker's twine. Let's make another bow. And with the mini glue dot, again, let's roll a little tube. And I am going to put this right here at the scarf tie. And just add my baker's twine right there on top of that. Okay, that is project number 3. We have one last project, and that is going to be this cute little treat box. Now, I did get these treat boxes from Amazon, and so I'm pretty sure the link is in your tutorial. Pretty sure. I think too, and hopefully I've already added the link as well in this video description. They do come in basic, or they come in white, I should say, and craft. And they are like, you know, the old school milk cartons that you can just pop open. Got lots. It's a huge, how big are these? They're quite a good size. They measure 3 by 3 by like 2 3/4, 2 7/8. They're a really nice size for treat boxes. All right, so I'm going to clean up and let's go ahead and we're going to do project number 4. All right, here are the quick measurements for project number 4. I will bring all of these out at the end, I promise. And you can always come back, watch the replay if you need to catch up, or that way you can just take your time and craft at your leisure. All right, so to make this, we are going to, I'm going to grab my instructions really fast just to see what I did, because I think I know what I did. Yes, I did. Okay. So before you assemble the box, here's what I'm going to recommend you do. I recommend, I'm going to dump all that out. You're going to open your box. Now I did kind of, in your kit, I did have to kind of fold it to get everything to fit. Now you do have some adhesive tabs that are already part of your box. And so what you're going to do is I recommend positioning to where this long adhesive tab, this is going to be the one that closes the box, have it on your right side. Then what we're going to do is all of these panels, we're going to put along here in each of these sections. And I'm going to burnish this. That would probably be a good thing. Let's get started by burnishing all of these score lines before we get started. And some of these score lines are a little tough to see, but they are there. And then let's do the top score lines as well. And then there is here at the very top about a 1/2 inch score line. That's going to be the part that closes at the top. Let's see. Okay, then the tricky ones. Here's where it gets tricky. Okay, so on this panel, and I say that. Is it? Yes, I'm pretty sure it is. You're going to have diagonal score. You know what? Let me do this real quick. I got to figure this out. Okay, so we have that. Give me just a moment, guys. I want to make sure I tell you correctly. Okay, so that's going to be at the back. Yep, it is. Okay, so on this panel and on this panel, you're going to take and you have diagonals. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky because they're very, very light. So take, burnish those diagonals. I would do them now so that it's much easier to put together when we put the box. Okay, so let's do that diagonal. And let me just double check everything, make sure that's what I want it to do. And that is what I want it to do. Perfect. All right, awesome. Okay, so just kind of a recap. Have your right adhesive tab on the right. Have burnish all of your score lines. You have score lines down here. You've got score lines going across. Then you have 2 diagonal sets going here on this panel and on this panel. All right, so now what we're going to do next, we're going to take the piece, one of the card bases. This is the blue card base. This is the one that we're actually going to use as our designer series paper. And they're going to each measure 2.5 by 2 3/4, and we're going to make 4 of those background pieces. Now, to do that, I want my stripes. This is my preference. It doesn't have to be this way, but I want my stripes to go vertically. So I need to measure and see what is that distance. That is going to be the 2.5. The other way is 2 3/4. So I'm going to take, this is just my reminder here, bring in my score or bring in my paper trimmer, and I am going to bring the short edge. I'm going to have it, well, this long edge is going to be lined up with my 2.5 inch mark. My stripes are running this way. So I'm going to just cut. I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to do another set. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these resulting pieces. Now, do keep in mind you do have a score line. That's the natural score line of your card. So you want to avoid that area. And then you want these pieces to be the 2 3/4. So that's going to be your 2.5 by 2 3/4. I'm going to skip the score line. I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to cut another one at 2 3/4. You can use whatever you want for that. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other piece. Okay, so I'm going to bring back in my box, and let's just start laying those pieces down. So we've got each of these with the stripes going up or going vertical. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take, you should have in your kit, those who got the kit, you're going to have, and I know it's here somewhere. Did I not? It's got to be hiding. I have a lot of pieces here. Okay, what did I do? What did I not do? All right, I'm sure it is hiding from me, but I cannot find my last circle. So I'm going to cut another circle real quick. All right, things go hiding and sliding. So I'm going to punch out, this is a 1 7/8 circle. All right. You know that circle's going to show up as soon as I start cleaning up. So we have, oh, I know what it is. I only needed 3. Oh my gosh, because the front is that label. Duh. Okay. How about I follow the instructions? Okay, let's do that. We have this. Then we're going to skip. So right here, we're going to put a silver circle. In a moment, we're going to stamp this. That's going to be our sentiment label. This is panel 1. This is panel 2. On panel 3, we've got another silver circle. And then on panel 4, we have another silver circle. Then what we're going to do is on each side of this sentiment, we're going to put a red circle. We're going to have a die cut fishbone. I'm just laying everything out right now so that I have everything in order because there are a lot of little pieces to this. Okay, then for the last one, that's going to be the one with the mouse. It doesn't look like it, but it is actually going to be the back side. And that is going to be in basic beige. I know, Lori, I don't know what. Yes, you're right. The one side, I totally forgot that that sentiment label was there. Okay, so then what we're going to do is for the back side with the mouse, we're going to have the mouse in, I think it's smoky slate cardstock. Then we have a die cut charm. Now for this charm, I am going to snip off the tag label, that little hole there. And I'm going to snip that off so it looks like a heart. Don't need the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to have that heart right there. We're going to have the mouse. Then we have, for each side of our sentiment, you're going to have 2 die cut hearts. So this is what we're going to be putting together. Before I do anything, I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and that's going to be that really cute sentiment. One of my favorites, love comes with 4 paws. So let me kind of move this out of the way. This is die cut with the paper tags dies. To me, it looks like a dog bone, and I thought it worked perfectly. So I'm going to stamp in Misty Moonlight cardstock. Cardstock. See, I said cardstock again. Misty Moonlight ink. Okay. All right. Brain is starting to wear out today, I think. Okay. So let's stamp right there on our label. Now we can put all of this together. This is the fun part of it. So let's go ahead. We're going to glue our red circle flat onto the silver glimmer paper circle. I'm going to let that set up for a moment on that glimmer paper. Let that just rest. Then I'm going to add a little bit of glue on each end of my sentiment. That's where I'm going to put those 2 red hearts. Okay, I'm going to put that there. Let's add glue to this other red circle. Glue it onto the glimmer paper. Let it set up for a moment while we work with the other pieces. And then we're going to take the basic beige circle and we're going to glue it to the silver glimmer circle. And then we're going to go back and start assembling everything. Okay, all right, so what I'm going to do is for each of these fishbone circles, I'm going to glue the fishbones on flat, and then I'm going to glue the circles on flat. And then let's go ahead. We're going to glue on the blue card bases that we cut. Let's just center them on the each of the panels. All right. Then I'm going to pop this up, the sentiment, with dimensionals. Glue that also down. Let's glue our fish down on our other red panel, our red circle. Okay. Okay, this is almost done with our panels. It's going to be on our panel, what is this? Panel 3 that we're on. And then lastly, I'm just going to go ahead and glue on this circle real quick. And let's go ahead, let's glue on the panel. And then what I'm going to do is for the last one, they're both going to be popped up with dimensionals, both the heart and the little mouse. So I'm going to kind of put this heart a little bit to the left, to the upper left here. And then for the mouse, I'm just going to put a couple of mini dimensionals just along the bottom here. And then I'm just going to sneak it right there. All right, now here comes the fun part. We're going to put our box together. So to do that, you're going to remove this paper strip. Now, if you want, you can add more glue or more tear and tape. But let's go ahead. Let's take that. We've removed that strip to reveal our adhesive. Then we're going to take the other side, the side that has this little top adhesive, and we're just going to fold it flat over. We're going to bring it flat over. I always like to kind of go the other way, make sure everything goes together properly. All right, so what we're going to do now is I want this to be the front of my box because I want for it to fold out like a milk carton, right? So I need to make sure for the bottom, it's going to be a little bit different than what they have, okay? I don't like the way that they have this tab here. To me, it doesn't fit right. So we're going to do something a little bit different. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, you know what, while we're here, let's go ahead and take off this top strip. So you're going to take off that top strip, and then you're going to take and line up your top section here and just really press down hard. All right, and then there is our little milk carton. Okay, so this is the front. So what I'm going to want to do is I have these tabs on the bottom, these little flaps. I'm going to take and I'm going to fold them in, and I'm just going to start gluing them. Oh my gosh, that is a glob of glue. Oh, wow. I did not anticipate that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take my side and I'm going to glue them together. And then you see how they have that adhesive tab there? Normally that would be your closure tab, but that's going to be in the front. I personally don't want it in the front, but if you want it, that's fine. I'm going to take the back tab. I'm going to go on ahead and use the adhesive they gave me. And I'm going to fold the back section with that adhesive. I think I'm going to need to come in here. Let's grab my bone folder and let's just kind of press down and let's get those pieces adhered. Then lastly, I'm going to take my front flap, and that's the one that I'm going to finish off with so that the edge piece is at the back. I just feel like that looks a little cleaner to me. All right, so go ahead, close that up. Lastly, what we're going to do is in your kit, you should have, and I know I had it. I know I had it. What did I do with it? All right, guys, I know it's here. I have clearly lost it somewhere. So I am going to borrow. It was here just a moment ago. All right, so you have a little mini bulldog clip. So let's take that mini bulldog clip, and then we're going to take our twine, make another bow. I'm going to find all kinds of hidden objects after today's live, I have a feeling. All right, then we're going to finish up this last project with a mini glue dot. And I'm just going to add that onto the clip. And there we go, guys. That is our last and final project. Oh, I found it. There it is right there. I knew it was here. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to bring back all of the projects for you to see. All 4 of the projects we made today. Super cute with the Pet Love bundle. I do have 2 extras of these project kits for $46 each. So message me if you are interested in that. That would be in for US shipping only. Now I wanted to go back because over the past several weeks, I shared with you some YouTube videos how to use the Pet Love bundle in different ways. So I want to kind of recap some of the projects that we made. One of them I do not have, and I think I gave it away, but there was 2 other projects that I do want to share with you, because when you make this, if you notice, we used this particular card base, right, in your kit. So that means you're going to have an extra envelope, an extra blue envelope. That was the reason I wanted to show you how to make this cute little treat bag. And I think that was about 2 weeks ago. So go and check out that YouTube video on how to make this really cute treat box or treat bag. Then I shared with you also how to make a cute little sampler using, again, those party alphabet dies and all of the cute elements from the Pet Love bundle. All right, so would y'all like to see next month's craft along projects? Little bit different. So I'm going to clean up for a moment, and while you are wrapping up, and let me know if you want to see next month's projects. Oh, 2 other projects I wanted to show you. This is actually for my Stampin' Bunko. Each month I host a Stampin' Bunko online on Zoom. And these are the projects that we are making next month as part of with the Pet Love bundle as well. So just some different ideas on how to use that cute Pet Love bundle. You can even make cute little boxes with those card bases. All right, so let me go on ahead. I'm going to show you what the projects are for next month. They are featuring, it's really more of a Stampa stack is what we call them. And it will be featuring the Hobby Haven. And I'm going to put that right there so that you have the information and the date. It will be on Tuesday, December 30th at 2 o'clock Central Time. Again, here on YouTube, free for anybody to watch. But if you would like the kit, then the kit is $47. That is shipped to you, and it's going to make 8 cards. Now, they're very simple cards featuring the Hobby Haven Designer Series paper, and then it features, let me grab, it's a new one. It is right here, the Creative Haven. That's where the sentiments come from, and that's where some of the background sentiment labels come from as well in that die set. So here are the cards that it will be making. Really cute cards, simple cards. You're going to be making 8 of them. And they go together pretty fast, actually. And let's see if I can squeeze in these last 3 somewhere. And you've got this one and that one. So there you go. You're going to be making all 8 of those cards. I know it seems a little ambitious, but they're really quite easy to put together. So registration, I will be opening up registration probably later today. It may be tomorrow, depending on when I get back. And like I said, it's $46 shipped to you, includes about $20 in consumable products. And I will ship to them. The registration will run I literally just finished these up right before I hopped on. Registration will most likely run until probably, I would say, probably the December 14th, roughly, maybe. I may have to bump that up because of the holidays. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you crafting along with me. Now, I will be posting, for those who are on my email list, I will be emailing you the video link for this craft along today, and also to the registration for the Hobby Haven craft along for December 30th. That registration link will be there for you as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward, I will be back Friday. I do have a project to share with you using the Pop-Up Petals bundle. So I hope you'll join me at 3 o'clock Central Time for that one. All right, guys, all of these projects that I feature today are available in my online store, and you can find the links to each of those in the video description today. All right, guys, y'all take care. We'll see you on Friday. Bye, guys.